Stacy lives with her fiancé, Tom. Their two kids, his brother, David, and David's wife, Lucy. And just 2 weeks ago, the police were called to the house due to accusations of child abuse. You see, David says he and his wife, Lucy, witnessed Stacy slap her 2-year-old daughter. But according to Stacy, they lied to the police just to get her kids taken away. Take a look.
My family, to me, are my children, my fiance, and me. So everything I do in my life revolves around them. And that day, I come out of the bedroom, I see that my child is being watched by two people that I do not want around my children. I do not want watching my children in any way. David and Lucy, I don't want them around my kids. My children don't need to see anybody insulting, hurting, cussing at, downing their mother. So I remove her from the situation and take her back to my bedroom where she should have been in the first place when I noticed that Tom's mom wasn't even at the house and didn't even alert me she was leaving. That's the only person to be around my daughter, is the grandmother, not the aunt, not the uncle, and nobody notified me, and I had every right to remove my daughter out of that room. And when the cops got called, it's just all a big surprise on me. Everything that had supposedly been said that I did for them to come there. I did not slap my daughter across the face or hit her in the face. I go to DCS. The man pulled out the referral paper from Dave and Lucy's call and said that they had also made the accusation that I had picked my son up by his throat and carried him back to the bedroom as well. I've been through too much already with my other children to just sit back and be pacified and let somebody make things up about me that aren't true. I could not believe these things.
That's your brother-in-law's fiancée.
Yes.
What do you feel about what she had to say?
She's a liar, manipulator, and she definitely abuses those children. I've seen her hit them, punch them, kick them, and on that particular day, she was in bed all day. And I came home and her daughter came to me and she said, I want cereal. So I gave her cereal. And then Stacy comes out of the bedroom about a couple minutes later and she's like, where's my mother-in-law? And I said, I don't know, I just got here. So she went over right away and went over there and left hand smacked her in the face, grabs the tray off of her high chair, flings the cereal.
And the child is how old?
She was 3 years old, I think, at that
old.
time. And then she's like, well, and grabs her child. As she's kicking, screaming, hollering, I'm like, I felt bad. I was just pissed,
And you witnessed
and I
her
wanted to grab a
slap
hold of
this
Stacy.
little girl across the face?
Yes.
And for what reason?
I guess because she was eating breakfast.
She slapped her daughter for eating breakfast.
I guess. And there's no reason for her not to be able to eat breakfast. She has no health concerns or anything that states she can't have breakfast. So she slaps her, she grabs her, she's pulling her down the hallway, and I'm freaking mad, like hurt, because I'm listening to her crying, screaming. So I freaking went outside because I can't beat the crap out of her. So I went outside, I called my mother-in-law.
You can't beat the crap out of her?
No, because I go to jail. so I went out, I called my mother-in-law, and I'm like, I told her, I'm like, this is what Stacy did. And she's like, well, you know, your nephew told me the day before that she grabbed him by the neck and threw him onto the bed. I have no idea why. So I went outside, I called CPS and the cops. Finally, the cops came, and CPS is finally gonna do something. And I've called cops on her multiple
And they
times,
arrested
multiple.
her?
Oh yeah, they finally arrested her. You are a liar.
Yeah.
I've seen
I'm about
you,
as big of a liar as you.
You've
called DCS how many times and how many times? Nothing that you have said.
And you ever did.
Saw with your eyes, you stupid bitch. You see it.
And I wouldn't lie when it comes to them kids. They love me more than they probably ever will.
You
love me.
already have. What do you mean?
What?
You
No.
called DCS and said
No.
things that didn't happen. You posted all over Facebook. I was raising those kids. And you had nothing to do with them at the time.
I never wrote that.
Lie. Yes, you did write
No.
that.
I never wrote
yes,
that
you
I
did.
raised those kids.
Yeah,
My
you did.
mother-in-law raised
I don't even
them
have
most of
nothing
the
else to say
time.
to you.
Not
nothing
you.
else. Nothing else.
Stacy,
Nothing else. Nothing else.
Would you say, would it be fair to say you have an anger problem?
I have, yeah.
She does. She does. And she takes it out on them kids.
And when you have an anger problem, most people are very impulsive, right?
They can be, yes.
Yeah. You ever strike your kids?
No,
Yes,
I've
you
never
have.
striked
Yes, you have.
them
You liar.
in any way
Liar.
like what's being insinuated on me right now.
Well, how do you strike your kids?
I have punished my kids by whooping them. I go by what I was raised.
Did you ever slap your daughter in the face?
No, I
Yes,
never
you
slapped my
have.
daughter in the face that day, especially not for wanting to eat
Have you
breakfast.
ever slapped your daughter in the face?
No, not that I can recall ever slapping her in the
Well,
face.
no, wait a second.
Maybe she bit her
Okay.
brother. I think there was one time she bit her brother, and I slapped her in the face for it. Yeah.
Lies. Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Your fiance, Tom, he kind of feels stuck in the middle because this is his brother, his mother. You're staying in the house, but, you know, he's obviously in love with you. He made a tape. Let's watch that now.
That day I come home early from work and I found out that Stacy had went to jail over my brother had called the cops on her apparently for slapping my daughter. She says that she didn't do it. I don't know whether to believe her or my brother. And my mom, I guess, wasn't in the room at the time. And then all of a sudden, my mom had said Stacy had picked up my son by the throat, drug him up on the bed, and I don't know if that's true or not. When I saw my daughter that day, she had a couple red marks on her face, but looking at these pictures, it upsets me seeing the red marks on her, but I don't know what they're from. I mean, slap, grabbing her mouth, but if someone hurt my daughter, I'd be very upset. As father, I'd want to be there to protect my daughter.
Hi, this is Mary. I am calling about my grandson. My grandson was crying, so I went into the bedroom to see what was wrong. And he said his mom picked him up by the neck, and all I did was hug them. And of course, Stacy will deny it, but I think she's a poor excuse for a mother.
Yeah.
Do you think your son told that to his grandmother?
I'm not sure what he said. I'm not going to call my child a liar.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't
I
do
mean,
that.
could you sometimes-
He could
I
have
believe she done
misconstrued something I did as that. I never said I was a perfect mother. I never said
Right.
I've not got
So-
frustrated
so
or angry
listen,
with my children.
So I'm going to ask
Well, you
you.
shouldn't
But
put
these
your hands on
specific
like that.
things
Okay,
that day I did not
Well,
do.
let me ask you a question. Would you say you have been excessive with your discipline with your children?
I guess, yeah, a lot of people have said they felt like I was too rough or that it didn't call for that.
Okay.
I would like to say one more thing. I have seen witness her smack. He was an infant because he was crying.
Okay.
Her,
Yep.
my
Well,
nephew.
Lucy came here and she took a lie detector test and we asked
Sure
her.
did.
That day, did you slap?
Here.
That day, did you slap or hit Stacy's daughter? You answered no.
Nope.
That day, did you see Stacy hit her daughter?
Yes,
You
I
answered
did.
yes. Both results came back the same, and it came back that you told the
I
truth.
told the truth.
David, we asked you that day, did you slap or hit Stacy's daughter? You answered no. That day, did you see Stacy hit her daughter? You answered yes. The results came back the same, and it came back that you told the truth.
Told you.
Stacy came here, took a lie detector test, and we asked you, on the day in question, did you slap or hit your daughter? You answered no. You did not tell the truth. Have you ever grabbed your son by the neck and carried him? You answered no. You did not tell the truth. Okay. So here's the situation here. You keep doing this, you're going to get these two taken away. Because when it comes down to it, you have problems and he has problems and they have problems, but you're the one causing damage to your kids. You're hurting them. And you need to do something to change that behavior. I could scream at you and throw you off my stage right now, but that's not going to help those kids. You're going to go back home. I don't want you going back home and hitting them. I don't want you picking them up by the neck and throwing them, you know. But at some point in our lives, we all have made mistakes. I've made my mistakes, and then you try to correct them. So my wife's just telling me, in 3 months, we want to bring you back. Would you come back?
Yeah.
Would you come back? And again, like I said, you see my show. I go crazy on people for not taking care of their kids, right? I want to give you a chance. I want you to come back and tell me, I've straightened up. My kids are happy. My kids are healthy. There's no more slapping. There's no more abuse. Since the show, Steve, I've not touched my kids. Can we try to make that deal?
Yeah.